the dugout steps with first base. McCutcheon's throw. The runner breaks to the plate. Here's the throw. Wow. He is out. The Buccos win.
That ball's in well to left center field. Back toward the track. And that ball is gone.
You are listening to the North Shore 9 podcast. Follow them on Twitter and Facebook. Also, make sure to watch NS9 Live every Thursday on Twitch and help support by becoming a patron. Let's go Bucks!
Oh, great. Was I on mute again? Let's take this a step back. We're going to talk around baseball again. And as mentioned, the Miami Marlins, up to, I think, 17 people were told they have the coronavirus. 17 players in the organization. Well, players, coaches in the organization, positive with the coronavirus. And as John Heyman quoted a Derek Jeter, I guess, quote, right? John Heyman tweeted a Derek Jeter quote, is that Jeter said that the players take responsibility, right? But apparently they went out for milk, coffee, and to go to someone's house for dinner. Now, I don't know. I kind of have my suspicions here, right? And I mean, we live in a society where everyone thinks everything's a conspiracy these days, so why not? Let's go ahead and play into that. I'm in my 20s. I finished up a baseball game. I can't tell you the last time, no, I don't live that lifestyle, but I can't tell you the last time I've left the hotel to go get milk. I've left to get a coffee. I do enjoy a good coffee. Likelihood of the hotels having a good one, at least that I attend, not so good. For the ones they attend, probably pretty damn good. But regardless, leaving the hotel to go get milk, coffee, go to someone's house for dinner, just isn't adding up. And, you know, again, maybe my suspicions are high, thanks to Lou Williams, also hanging out in Miami. I'm not saying the players went to a strip club. I'm not saying they didn't. I'm not saying they did, right? Again, I just have my suspicions. When the response is that the players went out for milk and coffee. I mean, milk and coffee, that's what you could come up with? I don't know. Again, I'm kind of suspicious. But regardless, there have been no positive testings. You know, everyone has successfully done 2 negative tests in a row. The Marlins are set to play tonight, which is good. I mean, they're back. You know, as I joked when you couldn't hear me, the Marlins are 2-1, tops the NL East at 2-1 due to winning percentage. They played 3 games this season so far, but it's okay. They're getting back to baseball tonight. The issue now, though, is let's move over to St. Louis. St. Louis now has had 13 people in the organization. I believe 6 players, 7 coaches, could be vice versa. Either way, 13 players test positive. Now, there's been suspicions about that. We've seen some random tweets. Don't know so much about the sources of those people who put out those random tweets. But other people are now starting to source others and stating that some Cardinals, after a game, decided to go out to a casino. Listen, this isn't a political podcast. I'm not getting into politics. It sucks that a virus has to be political, but that's 2020 for you in the environment we live in. And I have my thoughts on that, but I digress. Regardless, there is a pandemic going on. There is a virus called COVID-19 out there. There's a reason you're playing just 60 games this season. There is a reason there is a big battle between money. There's a reason you're getting way less money this year than you normally had. And that reason is the coronavirus. Now, all these things have been laid out for you as a player, as a team. Here's what we need to do to be safe, to have a season. And it just irks me that players are not going to abide by it. Okay, I've given heat to Manfred for quite some time, especially this year and on North Shore 9. You know, definitely, like, I I can barely tolerate Rob Manfred as the commissioner of baseball. But there's definitely a level of ownership on the players right now. Okay? Now, there's probably should be better protocols in place. I mean, yeah, that's on Manfred. You know, allowing the ability to go out to a casino right now and such is pretty terrible. But regardless, you as a player have a responsibility. And Kutch, you know, I'm not going to go into great detail and length about everything that Kutch said, but Kutch, to sum it up, said it right and well. You know, the Marlins were selfish. And even though there's a pandemic going on, even though there's safety protocols, and even though we got to try to contain this and everyone stays safe so that way we can finish out a season, they didn't. And because the Marlins players were selfish in that manner, people who were being safe, like the Phillies and Andrew McCutchen, aren't playing baseball games now. And it's not their fault. But because the Marlins being irresponsible, Kutch is being punished, right? Bryce Harper being punished. These guys cannot play baseball. What they signed up for, what they agreed to, they can't play baseball because of the selfishness of the Miami Marlins. And now let's look at the St. Louis Cardinals. If that is exactly what happened, you know, if they went to a casino after and I don't know about the mask, whatever, you went to a casino, you're taking the risk. You know what's going on right now. You're taking that risk. You come back. Now the Brewers can't play, right? Now the Tigers can't play, all because of the selfishness of players on the Cardinals. You got to do a better job of this. And so, yes, there probably need to be better protocols in place. That's on baseball. But as a player, you have to take responsibility and understand what's going on. Okay? That's why we're praising people like Gregory Polanco and Joey Votto, you know, with Chris Bryant. It's the same thing. You know, Votto had symptoms and pretty much said, you know, hey, guys, I'm calling it a day right now. You know, I'm feeling something. Let's figure this out. He could have kept playing, and if he did, expose other people. So, you know, that's why you're hearing this. It's so simple to do, but you got to praise these people for doing it because there's so many people out there that aren't taking these proper steps and protocols in place. So back away from the COVID-19 issues that's going on around baseball right now. Kind of pissed off about it, but regardless. Also going around baseball, well, so we saw Michael Fultz, whatever. Jim's going to make fun of me because I forgot his name last week. We saw he was DFA'd by the Braves. They signed, you know, Yoli Chacin a few weeks before that. Chacin was just released. Oh, man, their ace, Mike Soroka, goes down last night. Torn Achilles. Huge loss for the Braves. This is, I'll tell you, man, this was an organization where you looked a few years back how promising they were, all the pitching they had. And I'm not dissing this organization at all, but they're kind of hurting for pitching right now. You know, they've had a lot of studly guys you thought they were going to make it, and Soroka's out now. They signed King Felix. He opted out this season. They got Cole Hamels. He's injured. He's out. They're hurting for pitching. This is a team that you knew was going to be strong in pitching in a few years. And right now they're hurting. 60-game season. I don't know if they're going to hit the trade market. I don't know if they're going to look to pounce on some people right now. Again, I don't know how people are perceiving this season among baseball, how serious they're taking it. Again, with the comments of Strasburg, what's this season really matter? I'm thinking more big picture than this 60-game circus. Is that the mind of a lot of GMs and owners too? I don't know. So we'll find out. Shohei Ohtani is going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. That's a big blow to the Angels. He's given up all kinds of walks, has not looked good. Angels are also sticking with him. Mike Trout had a baby. They were calling up Joe Odell. Here come prospect watch for all the teams, except a few of the Pirates and Brian Hayes. Yoenis Cespedes apparently opted out of baseball, unbeknownst to the New York Mets. But yeah, apparently he woke up in a hotel, decided not to go to the game, packed up his bags, and left. And I guess apparently he already contacted MLB about it, but the word is he denied to tell his team his manager, who also at the time used to be his agent, right? His agent assigned him to a $100 million contract to give the Mets in total 75 RBIs in 4 years. I mean, get your money, man. Get your money. But you've done some stupid things. And yeah, so he doesn't tell the Mets he's leaving. The Mets had no idea where he was, apparently. Packed up his things and left. Great stuff. Eduardo Rodriguez is apparently going to be out for the season now. He had complications with COVID-19, inflammation with his heart. Again, 60-game season. You're the Red Sox. You're truly competing. Let's shut this down. Come back next year, man. Lorenzo Cain opted out of baseball a few days ago. Yeah, especially after all the mess that's happening, right? The St. Louis Cardinals and Brewers, game that was supposed to be played, but because of Cardinals' selfishness, they couldn't play it. Lorenzo Cain says, you know what? Screw this, guys. I'm done. I'm calling it a season. Forget this baseball. All right. Let's go ahead. Let's move on to another segment here. I want to go ahead with, we haven't done it yet, but what's grinding my gears? Guys, why is there so much chatter going around in regards to Jose Ozuna? I don't get it. Why in the year 2020, in this season that the Pirates are 2-8, why is talks of Jose Ozuna as if they're not playing Andrew McCutchen of 2013? I don't get it. I don't get it. Jose Ozuna is 27 years old. Jose Ozuna, before he made his MLB debut, was a 27th rated prospect. Okay? Coming up, no one thought highly of Jose Ozuna. He has an amazing spring, right? Looking like the next coming of Albert Pujols, and people start saying, play Ozuna over Bell. Sure, it's kind of funny. Until it happens again the next spring. Play Ozuna over Bell. Jose Ozuna, for his career, is a 243 hitter. Gets on base 283. 15% below league average, right? 85 weighted runs created plus. 15% below the league average for his career, which includes 644 plate appearances. Okay? He's gotten a season's worth of baseball. This isn't just limited time. He's only had 100 plate appearances and had a bad stretch. Like it's a full season's worth of baseball. 644 plate appearances. 50% below average hitting wise. His best season, he was 3%. Last year, his best offensively statistical season, he was a 97 weighted run crew plus. And we had the Colin Moran talk last week. Is Colin Moran an average hitter? Technically, yes, was the talk, right? But theoretically, at the position he plays, which is third base, he was what, the 33rd offensively rated player over the past 2 years? At Jose Ozuna's peak, that's what he is. At his peak, he was a below average player. For his career, right? 644 plate appearances. For his career, he has a negative .8 WAR. Never in any season has he gained any positive WAR. He's either been replacement level or worse. Let's go to short sample size in 2020, which is only 60 games. That many things do matter. It's just 21 plate appearances. But this is the guy we're calling for to save the 2-8 Pirates. Save the day, Jose Ozuna. This season, he's batting 158. He's getting on base 238. And he's got a 57 weighted runs created plus. The savior of the Pirates is 43% worse than average. Why is there so much chatter about Jose Ozuna? I don't get this. Now listen up. This will transition into my Shelton conversation. I'm all for this year being a so-called evaluation year. And what I mean by that, the Pirates made no efforts to improve this year. They didn't go out and sign any key free agents. They weren't looking to compete. You can argue if they should have or not. When I look at this team and the talent in the majors and in the farm system, I don't see a situation where they should have gone out to compete, right? They should be more, what they should have done is traded more to gain more prospects, right? To look more down the road. Adam Frazier could have been traded. They did deal Marte. You know, the potential of a Joe Musgrove, stuff like that. You know, that's where they should have been looking. Not so much adding talent, but getting rid of talent to gain in prospects, right? This team isn't looking to compete. I don't need to see the best lineup every single day to win every day. Air quotes, right? I'm all good for this being an evaluation year, which that means you're probably going to see a lot of people get reps, right? More days off for players you think would start every single day to compete, you know, and more reps to Cole Tucker in the outfield. So with that being said, I'm not totally opposed to why we've seen Jose Ozuna as little as we have, because I think it's fair to give him, right, equal opportunity at bats. I don't foresee him being in any long-term plan, but I don't know, maybe there's a little untapped skills there. Maybe he does have some power. Now the DH is across baseball everywhere. Maybe he can be just an average player, which is what you're hoping to get out of Jose Ozuna. You're hoping that he can become an average player, right? The defense is awful, so he can DH somewhere at league average, which is for the DH position terrible. But regardless, right? That's what you're hoping for. So maybe you get some plate appearance out of him and see that Jose Ozuna can be at least a bench player on someone's team. That's what you're hoping for Jose Ozuna. So I get why I'm maybe a little confused why he's had so little at-bats before the past few days, I'll mention. But there's no reason at all that should be the talk. When a lineup is put out and it's highlighted by, where is Jose Ozuna? That doesn't speak to Jose Ozuna. That speaks to the team, for one. And if that's what you're talking of, if that's what the tone of the team is, what does it matter? If you're talking about Jose Ozuna needs to be in there because you need to play your best players to get to the playoffs, Jose Ozuna ain't it. So you're not talking about playoffs. And again, what I'm also going to say is you want to put it on Shelton and say, well, that's on him, regardless if you're competing or not. You as a manager are going to put your best players out there. This team is not going to make the playoffs by Jose Ozuna. If this team is going to make the playoffs, it's going to be on the people that Jose Ozuna should be, that is getting less play time than the other people, like a Polanco. If this team is going to make the playoffs, it's because Polanco is hitting. It's because Moran is hitting. It's because Josh Bell is hitting. They're not going to do it because Polanco is still struggling and Jose Ozuna is there playing right field. That ain't happening. So if you want to make the playoffs, it's because you're putting and giving Gregory Polanco every opportunity to be in that lineup and be productive. Jose Ozuna, people. This is what we're talking about. Not Mitch Keller. Not Josh Bell. Hell, the season that Colin Moran is having. It's being washed away because where is Jose Ozuna? That's what's grinding my gears right now, everyone. And unfortunately, this next segment is also kind of grinding my gears. Let's talk about the stat of the day. Guys, the stat of the day isn't truly a stat per se, but it's certainly something I want to talk and mention of. The stat of the day is 3. And what I mean by 3, all right? 3 times so far this season, highlighted twice in these back-to-back losses, there has been an open base. All right, guy on second, first base is open. And instead of having the wherewithal to go ahead and walk the batter, right? Take your base, play for the double play ball. Let's get out of this inning. Let's move on, continue playing baseball. The Pirates have pitched and it's lost them the game all 3 times. I highlighted as last night. There's a guy in second base. There's a guy in third base. Nick Birdie's up pitching, right? The prized possession of the bullpen right now, Nick Birdie. Nelson Cruz is up the bat. Now, the boomstick might be an old man. He might be 40 years old, but he's 40. He's a man. And this guy's still showing it. You know, he had all the power last year. He's there this year. Who knows him any better than Shelton himself, who came from the Twins organization? You know what Nelson Cruz can do. With that base open, why would you not walk him and live to see the inferior player? You got the double play ball set up now where you didn't before. You have a lesser batter up, right? The better possibility, better chance of Nick Birdie succeeding. And you don't walk him. And what happens? It's a walk-off. Nelson Cruz hits it over Cole Tucker's head, which wouldn't matter anyways because the third guy on third could have tagged up. And you lose. The day before against the Cubs, guy on second base. Of course, the new extra inning rules, right? Guy goes on second base right away. Anthony Rizzo's up the bat. There's a free base up there. There's no outs. Guy's already on second base. Why aren't you using that strategy? Like, why? Just because of this dumb rule that's in place, which I'm for 2020. Like, who cares? I don't want to see it going further. But a guy's on second base to start with, right? Why are you not just going to say, well, you're Anthony freaking Rizzo. I'm going to give you first base. It's open. Live to see another day. What was it? Bodie coming after him, I believe. Why wouldn't you do that? So now it's potential of 2 outs. Maybe there's a guy on third, but 2 outs. Guy on third base. Instead, you pitch to Anthony Rizzo, and he wins the ball game. Go back. Now, I'm not going to totally diss them on doing this, but it's 3. We're only 10 games into the season. 3 losses came in regards to this. It was against the Brewers, also in extra innings, right? Guy on second base. It was Eric Sogard. And again, that's why I'm not going to give so much hate to this, because it was Eric Sogard. It wasn't Anthony Rizzo or Nelson Cruz. It was Eric Sogard. But he did have a fine season last year. Eric Sogard comes to the plate, does the same thing, hits it, Pirates lose. 3 close games in late innings that were determined by just bad strategy. Which, as I mentioned, is going to carry on over. We are just 10 games into the season. 10 games of Derek Shelton's manager career. Just 10 games. Overreaction? Yeah, of course it is. But this is all we have right now. And there's starting to be some concerns. And there was a little bit of back and forth on Twitter last night, which has led me to this conversation right now in regards to it, whether it should be okay or what. Let's talk about the tank, right? Tank for Kumar Rocker. Well, first off, we don't know if that's going to happen because, as mentioned on an earlier podcast, Rob Manfred could set a draft order. They determined, right? Both sides agreed to this. If there was less than 81 games in this season, Rob Manfred could basically do what he wants with the draft, whether it be a lottery, whether he implements something. I don't know what it would be, whether he's going to say this season just it's a wash. Let's just revert back to what the order was in 2019. Or I should say the 2020 draft per se for 2021. I don't know. But he has that power. We could be in all tank mode, getting up all these games, go winless the rest of the year, and end up with the number 7 pick because that's what Rob Manfred does. or there's a lottery and the Pirates, being the Pirates, they get the number 14th pick. Nothing is set in stone for this draft. So this whole tank for Kumar thing could all be farce. Now, what I will say, we love calling them out here, and I'm not going to truly call them out, but there was a local sports writer who might own his own business talking sports from a newspaper, who want to talk about the draft's overrated. Like, that's not how baseball works. And I disagree. Like, for one, we've talked about on the North Shore 9 quite a bit, is there's nothing guaranteed in the draft. I mean, the MLB draft is much different than a lot of other drafts because, especially like in football, you get the number 1 overall pick, Joe Burrow, boom, he comes in right away. He's your starting QB. He's the face of your franchise. Those are the expectations, right? NBA, you get a LeBron James, boom, he's plugged right in. He's the face of your franchise. High expectations. When it comes to baseball, right? Garrett Cole, you get drafted, boom, you go to low A, ride a bus. You go to high A, ride a bus. You go to double A, you go to triple A. Finally, you make it to baseball 4 years later, 5 years later. You don't have this kind of impact. And also on top of that too, there's no guarantee that you're going to be good. I mean, there's no guarantee in NFL or NBA as well. I mean, you have busts, but I feel as if you see a lot more of it in baseball. Like when you think about Ken Griffey Jr. was the first number 1 overall pick to go into the Hall of Fame ever. Like, that resonates. There's no guarantees in baseball. So I get the uncertainty. Like, if you're trying to say that there's no guarantee that guy's going to come in and be good, like, I can understand that. But that's definitely better chances. It sets you up well. Like, in a normal season, there's a guarantee of having a top 3 draft pick for tanking, and you do it correctly. You're setting yourself up for success. You're putting your team in a better position by doing that. All right? But let's talk again about this tank. What I want to put out there and let you understand. A tank, air quotes, a tank comes from ownership and GM level. Right? Cherington comes in, sees this organization, says we need to go ahead and gain talent. Right? We need to start flushing out these players, start gaining talent for our minors, start building to the future. That's what I need to do as a GM. That's what's going to build success for this team. So I'm not going to go get key free agents because there's no need to be good this year. I want to be bad, right? There's some holes, maybe, build on the defense. That way we can put our pitchers in a better situation. Oh, there's Luke Maley, great defender behind the plate. That'll help our pitchers. Oh, there's Lorenzo Cain, good defender in center field, veteran presence. Let's go ahead and get him. The tank comes from there. The tank doesn't come from Derek Shelton, and especially the players. Derek Shelton doesn't have talks to Cherington and decide on how they're going to blow the game. Now, there's definitely talks and usage, right? So as I talked about the evaluation season, like there's definitely coordination between Shelton and Cherington of let's get these guys some at bats. Let's see these guys a little more, than normal. Like I want to evaluate Jose Ozuna, right? Cole Tucker in the outfield. I'm still okay with that. If we're talking about Shelton. I've talked about Tucker playing the outfield. I truly believe, just seeing his bat up to this date, it's not there. If he's going to make it in this league, it might be as a utility player. So why wait later down the road to see if he can play outfield? Why not do it now in 60 games where nothing matters for the Pirates? I'm cool with that. So maybe that's some verbiage coming down the pipe from Cherington, right, to Shelton. I want to see how Cole Tucker can play other positions. I need to get him out bats because there's no minor league season this year, right? We need to evaluate him. We can't let him, regress, right? He has to progress in some manner. So he's going to have to get at bats this year. So, that could be Cherington and Shelton's ear a little bit of, let's get more play time for Cole Tucker, right? Maybe there's some relievers out there. Let's get some more time on the mound for these guys. I need to see them. So there's some talks there. But as like day-to-day actual in-game managing, right? That's on Shelton. When that base is open, that's on Shelton. I have some worries about Shelton. He's, again, the players in him are not tanking. You, as a fan, can embrace the tank. I'm all for that. All right. I enjoy it. It's fun seeing some of the memes and pictures and stuff out there. Right. But think about Nick Birdie. Be Nick Birdie. You've been trying to make a major league club for how many years? Injuries keep getting in your way. Your team doesn't protect you, lets you go into the Rule 5 draft. The Pirates pick you up, knowing you're injured, not going to play. You work your ass off to come back that next season, which you do. You get injured again. You're Nick Birdie. You, for one, know nothing is guaranteed. You are trying to make your mark because you believe the talent's there, right? The Pirates believe it's there, or they wanted to pick you up when you're injured. You need to prove to everyone that you can be a player in this major league and you can, be healthy and you can shine. Are you going to listen to your manager tell you, no, just don't be that good. Give up a run. Go ahead, do it. We need to lose. Give up the run. That's not in your DNA, right? You're out there grinding, trying to prove to yourself and everyone else you belong. You're not going to do that. Do you think Derek Holland, who signed a 1-year deal with the Pirates, is going to tank? Who's he signing with next year? Oh, well, I'm sorry, Mr. Steinbrenner. I wanted to be a good player, but the Pirates wanted to lose, and I obliged. I went ahead and I sucked. I tanked with them. So I really am a good player. I'll prove it to you. Just sign me. That ain't happening. Any of these players are tanking on purpose? And if me, because again, the players are not willing to tank, if me, as a player on this team, I have a manager in Derek Shelton in my ear telling me to tank, purposely making questionable decisions that's making our team lose, right? If the tank's on the field, making our team lose, we're trying to lose. Oh, we're going to win this game, so I need to put in Del Pozo. If I see my manager doing that, I'm questioning the hell out of him. That is how you lose a ball club. Now, he's come in. I've liked his personality with this team. It appears the team likes his personality as well. And there is a connection. There is a gel. That's good. He seems like a player's coach. That's good. We've talked about time and time again on this show how much a manager truly means. And really, when you look at it, as far as a true in-game manager goes, there's only a handful in baseball that are good. Everyone else is crap. So to me, that player manager, right, the guy that gets the most out of his players, to me is more important than the in-game because they all suck at it. He seems to have that. But you can't be this bad at in-game managing. And if you are this bad, again, that is how you lose a club very quickly. Because when your club undermines you and doesn't believe in you and thinks you're dumb, who's going to play for you? So I get the tank. The tank, though, starts and ends with the front office and, Nutting and Charrington and such. It doesn't go down onto the field. They're not playing the games to purposely lose. Which is why, in just 10 games so far, we have some questions and concerns for Shelton. Because if the tank doesn't come from him, why is Del Pozo seeing? Why is he the first? Why is he getting so many, times on the mound? Why is all the stuff that he's doing right now not smart at all? Behind the scenes, right, in our North Shore 9 chat, going back, Jim said it best, and we'll probably talk about tomorrow on the show. There hasn't been a move that Shelton has done so far this year that you said, oh, that was smart. Like, that was a good move. They've all been terrible. They've all been dumb. Okay, not all. Overreaction season, right? But a high rate of them, you question. What is going on? Why are we doing this? And if it has just been 10 games, and I get it's the start of his career, and he's afforded the opportunity to make some mistakes, I'm a bit worried right now. Derek, you got to get your shit together, man. What are you doing out there? It's okay to lose. I'm fine with losing. We're going to lose. But try. Try to win a game. The talent will lose. Trust me. There's a lot of people in Pittsburgh that will tell you the talent on this team will come out victorious and lose the game for you. But you got to try to win, man. That's where we're at. The moves look so obvious that you're trying to tank. We know you're not tanking, Derek. But the moves look so obvious. That should tell you something. They're really bad. You got to do better. Please do better. Start today with your former team, the Minnesota Twins. Everybody, that's the show. Tomorrow, Jim and I will be back again with Starbucks. And then Thursday, of course, we'll be back. North Shore 9, NS9 Live. I believe Tyler and myself will be on that. And then we'll have the podcast. So until then, everyone, we'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.